watching the news?
I woke up in the morning.
I heard about it that night.
She sent me a video. That morning I woke up, I looked at it.
I've seen a lot of crazy videos in my job, but this one was definitely one of the hardest to watch, especially first thing in the morning that day.
I actually asked my wife if she wanted to see this. I said, "You got to see this." She said, "I do not want to see that. I can't take that right now." They talk about police brutality all the time. Just briefly looked at it, I'm like, damn, they killed another brother. And kind of just clicked out the message.
This is not new. This has been happening. This has been going on.
Let me see your hands.
Damn, man.
Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please,
Both hands.
do nothing.
Put your hands up right now. Let me see your other hand.
Please don't shoot me, please.
Tell me he didn't
Oh
work
my
with
God.
him.
He didn't even do nothing.
I can't breathe, Robert. Please. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
The world is tired of seeing people get murdered, police brutality, and just people not getting treated the same.
Before there was ever a Black Lives Movement, there was an abolitionist movement. Before there was ever a Black Lives Movement, there was a Black Liberation Movement.
They don't want us to use black power. I got news for them.
There was a Civil Rights Movement.
Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest for right.
There was the Nation of Islam and their movement.
Our people have been the constant victims of brutality on the part of America's racists, and the government has found itself either unwilling or unable to do anything about it.
Who do you protect? Who do you serve?
But you gotta remember, right before George Floyd, there was Ahmaud Arbery, who was just jogging in his neighborhood, and he got shot by two wannabe cops. Then Breonna Taylor laying in her bed, 1 a.m. in the morning, the police just walk in and just start blasting. People were just fed up.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
In the wake of George Floyd's death, obviously I was distraught, but literally 2 days later, a black trans man named Tony McDade was murdered by Tallahassee police. All of these things happen, and rarely anyone outside of our community bats an eye or pays any attention. And that's the problem.
Black trans lives matter. Black trans lives matter. Black trans lives matter.
The inhumanity of the killing of George Floyd, we were already a time bomb. The fuse just ran out and it exploded.
I was supposed to bury him.
Utilizing the sidewalk.
Need to stand up. Black lives matter.
to beat up on protesters because buildings were burning and not understanding the condition in which they found themselves was morally hypocritical to me. If a policeman can come to your city and literally take your life without moral compunction, or it appears too often legal redress, if you don't own your own body, what are you concerned about a building for? You don't own a neighborhood, you don't own buildings, you don't own anything if you can't own yourself. And that was a fundamental truth that was driven home by the death of Mr. Floyd, and those people responded in measures of anger, grief, and hurt that were appropriate to their situations.
I believe wholeheartedly that the only way this will get better is if the police and the community form a strong bond, bridge that gap, and say we are not tolerating bad cops, and we ain't tolerating people who are trying to destroy in the community. You can't have police reform and not have community reform. You're still going to have the same problem.
What's interesting about this moment is it's not simply the triumph of Black Lives Matter, though it is that. But Al Sharpton was on this way before it became popular. Al Sharpton, I think, has rarely been given credit for having anticipated this as the central and defining civil rights issue of our times.
In my heart of hearts, I believe this is the trigger that's going to lead to federal legislation. It may take a minute, but I really believe this is different this time. Because I think that in some of the cases, we moved Black America. This is the case that moved America. All America.